Hello everyone, back with another installment of Am I the Asshole? If you're a fan of hearing Reddit tales, it would really support the channel if you could give us a like or subscribe. Now, let's dive into our first story. Am I the asshole for agreeing with my mom that it's kind of pathetic my wife can't cook? I, 28 male, have been married to my wife, 31 female, for about a year. Overall, things are great. But one thing that's been bugging me is that my wife doesn't know how to cook at all. I've always been the one to handle meals, which I was fine with in the beginning because I enjoy cooking. But over time, it started to wear on me, especially when I come home after a long day at work and still have to cook dinner while she relaxes. She refuses to cook and claims there is nothing wrong with not being able to cook. It's been an ongoing issue between us. I have been trying to teach her, but she is really bad at it. Many conversation about this. The other night, my mom, 56 female, came over for dinner. As usual, I was in the kitchen preparing everything, and my wife was sitting with my mom. At one point, my mom offered to help, and I asked if she could make the gravy or cut some fruit. My wife was standing around in the kitchen when my mom handed her a knife and asked her to cut some fruit while she handled the gravy. My wife couldn't figure out how to hold it properly and ended up making a mess. My mom watched her fail to cut the fruit and then blurted out, "It's honestly kind of pathetic that you don't even know how to cut a piece of fruit at your age." She then went behind her and started to guide her how to cut stuff like you do with a kid. My wife kind of shrugged and finished cutting her fruit, with my mom guiding her. Dinner happens, and I noticed my wife was not happy the whole night. My mom left and she was pissed I didn't defend her, that I embarrassed her by letting it happen. We got into a bad argument and I told her that it is pathetic she cannot even cut fruit. She is literally older than me and can't hold a knife properly. She told me that is not the point and I needed to defend her, and it's not her fault she is bad at cooking. I point out it is, and she is embarrassed because not being able to hold a knife properly is embarrassing for an adult. My wife thinks I am a huge jerk. Edit, I cannot keep up over 2,000 comments and I have things to do. If you have an info, may already be answered in a previous comment. So, update, I definitely think this is weaponized incompetence. I will suggest marriage counseling and cooking classes. If things don't change, I will be out. I will make this very clear. Also, for those asking, it was strawberries. She was smushing them and cutting them with the stems still on. Info. Does she do the dishes, help clean up? I don't think it really matters which partner does the cooking necessarily, as long as the other is helping. And the standard deal that almost everyone seems to follow is that if one person cooks, the other person cleans up. In my house, my wife usually cooks and I usually clean, which is fine because she enjoys cooking and is good. I'm okay, I can cook, but she's definitely better. My mom and stepfather, though, are essentially the opposite. She got home from work late, usually, and isn't a great cook anyways, so he cooks and she does the dishes. And yes, it is kind of pathetic that she can't even use a knife. Even if you aren't a good cook, you should at least be able to figure out how to hold a knife. That's just silly. No, not really. I usually clean as a cook, so not much to do, and I don't really count putting your dish in the dishwasher to be much. Edit, you seem to be the top comment. Can you add a judgment to your info? Not the asshole. She should be helping somehow. You're not her personal chef. Even if she did, she still needs to know how to provide for herself at the bare minimum. Everyone sucks here. Your mom shouldn't have called her pathetic, and I can see why your wife would be hurt, that you didn't say anything to defend her. You shouldn't have called her pathetic either. That isn't constructive and will only make her feel hurt and defensive. It isn't fair for her to expect you to do all the cooking and needs to make a reasonable effort to learn, especially something as basic as holding a knife. Did she not have a parent who could teach her? It might not necessarily be her fault that she never learned when she was young, but she does need to be open to learning more now so it doesn't all fall to you. As an adult, she's the only one responsible now for her gaps in knowledge and has ample resources to fill them. At this point, it's weaponized incompetence on her part since she refuses to even try. Insulting someone is the best way to kill their want to learn. If you and your mom make this a negative experience for her, she will not want to learn. You need to sit down and have an adult conversation with her that cooking everything has been too much on you, and you'd like to bond with her through helping her learn to cook. Maybe you could even get one of those subscription boxes like HelloFresh once a week, an easy meal with all of the ingredients and recipe to follow, and you two can make a couple's night out of it. How did she survive before she met you? Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.